Hi everyone, Sailor Moon here, and Sailor Red World here. And today we're going to talk about, folks who still hate what's known the Renaissance Atlantic Entertainment or New Birth Great Sea Sailor Moon. And how some folks out there think it should keep lost. How some folks gave it for, not being the Sailor Moon that everyone loves. Well, this Sailor Moon should not be kept lost. And yes, it's not the same Sailor Moon. Yes, there was a lot of things that were borrowed and fostered from Renaissance Atlantic Entertainment or New Birth Great Sea Glee. And I know a lot of you folks out there, most likely the first things that they bitch about is, oh, it's half live work and half live drawing. Yeah, that's what this that's what this Sailor Moon would be. It would be half between a live show and a drawing show. And the live show end was everything it wasn't the fighting. And when they shapeshifted and became the Sailor Fighters, then then it would become a drawing show. And I know some of you folks are pissed off because in this world, you make a big deal about names. So most likely you're pissed off about my name being Victoria in that world. And you'll say, why is she Victoria? Well, that was the name that I was going to have in that world before my name became Serena. Believe it or not, Victoria is my middle name in the Deke world. So you most likely made a big deal about the names. Yeah, they do. Let's see. What else did you make a big deal out of? Oh, Luna being white instead of black. That's probably most likely something else that you folks probably most likely bitched about. And how we were the Alderling fighters. Yeah. You most likely made a big deal about the shifting of the name. Not Sailor Fighters, not Sailor Keepers, but the Alderling Fighters. Yeah, most likely you bitched about that too. So, what were the other things you think they bitched about? Hey, you got something to say about this? First off, Serena or Sailor Moon, yeah, I do got something to say about it. Yeah, you're most likely bitched about my name being Dana instead of being Ray. You most likely bitched that the song, the Sailor Moon song, not the Deke song, not the Toei song, but the R, the the RPE song. You most likely bitched about that song and say, oh, I don't like it, or whatever. Big deal. I think it's a good song. You most likely made a big deal out of it. Then you made a big deal about my name being Dana, because in that world, that is my name. Alright? And you would believe that's my middle name in the Deke world. So you most likely made a big deal, bitched about names, You probably got pissed off that, oh, Queen Serenity didn't die and she's still alive in this Sailor Moon. And what else did you got pissed off over? Oh, Queen Beryl has a starship and she's after the Stones of Might, which, believe it or not, really isn't 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 something to make a big deal over, because in Deke Sailor Moon and Toei Sailor Moon, whatever, and Sailor Moon, she's after the Kaiserdom Silverhurst, which was broken down into these rainbow hearsts. So yeah, going after them is the same thing. But you made a big deal about, most likely, about the name and how what Queen Beryl looked like. Yeah, you probably bitched, oh, she looks nothing like Queen Beryl. Yeah, I know. You make a big deal about that one. What else do you make a big deal of? Oh, Artemis isn't in it. Yeah, I know. He's not in it. I don't know if that was a oversight or not, but yeah, Artemis isn't in it, and you most likely made a big deal about that one. You know. So let me see. What other things do you think that you make a big deal about? Is that about right? And then tell folks, oh, this Sailor Moon should have kept lost. I asked to unlikeness there, because I think this Sailor Moon was the only slightest Sailor Moon that should not been lost. And I was happy when it when it truly showed up in the 8th month of 2022. Wow, I was. And I'm still happy, because this was one slight of Sailor Moon that very few folks ever got to see. So at the end of the day, I'm thankful for this Sailor Moon. All right? And I know you folks would have said, oh, well, I don't know. What would you have said about that? Well, I know at the end of the day, Sailor Mars, or Sailor Red World, I know, Ray, that all the things that we talked about, that you talked about, that we both talked about, what they would make a big deal about, they most likely did. Oh, it doesn't live up to my standards, is what they're saying. Oh, it's a slight on Naiko Takaguchi and her work. Well, first off, Naiko Takaguchi, and if it's a slight on her work or not, I don't know. It's the only slight of Sailor Moon that's not owned by her, so yeah, I don't really think she can do anything about this Sailor Moon. It's owned by Frank Wand, who was formerly the forsetter of Bandai's arm in North Vinland. And whatever, you made big deal out of it, bitched about names, how was Half-Life work, Half-Life drawing, how the cells looked like. You most likely bitched about the show playing, and all kinds of everything else that you make a big deal about. So, anyway, give this film a like, share and playlist it, and we'll see you later.